What up? Welcome to A the Show with me, A the Mo. Back again for another week. Other podcasts come out. They'll make your whole day. But we come out, we'll make your whole week. All right, I'm gonna just keep trying to come with cliche intros. Intros are the hardest part for me. Maybe more than that's difficult. But I can't once we get going, I'll just start rambling and ranting. Glance at a note or two. Well, yeah, we're here again. I've been really enjoying some episodes. We have a music episode coming out in a couple days with Skinny that we just recorded. Get excited about that one. I was honestly in too talkative of a mood for a music episode. So if you like to hear me talk about random shit and new music, listen to new music, and then see Skinny maybe be tripping on something. I didn't ask, he didn't tell me, but there's something going on with him. So make sure to tune into that one. And yeah. Also, speaking of videos, I need to do. I've been thinking about making more like ones where I'm just playing games, and then every time I'm about to do it, I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if anyone cares about that shit, but I do need to do it just for the practice, just so I can get good or get better. So that would be good. But anyway, that's my catching up with the podcast. Also, I started off being like, hey, every week I'm going to tell people to email me. Do it maybe once every 7 episodes. So we'll pull it up wherever on the screen of, hey, send us an email if you want to. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, ideas, music, if you want to send us music to play, all that, you could send it to our email address. Also, I got to do a quick correction. A couple weeks ago on an episode, I was talking about celebrity deaths and how I just think it's crazy how people get so worked up about them. And then a not real celebrity, but an internet celebrity died. And it didn't I didn't cry about it or anything, but there was oh man, it sucks. But that was KingCobra, who was a streamer. He had died. He predicted it at age 34. And, he provided a lot of laughs through different clips I've seen. I never sat and actually watched a live stream. I don't really watch streamers, but I knew of him through his clips and, very funny person. And, it seemed to take the internet, really be everyone's oh, God damn, I can't believe that happened. But it makes sense. It makes sense. These people that never leave their house and they're alcoholics die young, he didn't look healthy, so it is sad. So I'd say in a scenario like that, someone very young in this sort of new medium of streaming, you're like, who knows what was going to happen? Part of that is disappointing. You're like, oh, we don't get to see the full evolution. But I predict he won't be the first, and he probably isn't. I'm sure there's others I'm just unaware of. But I think the lifestyle some people live aren't real. The way people make money, these kids these days, like the uber rich ones that do no work, streamers for a lot of guys. There are also some females, and then OnlyFans people. And neither one of those seem like super healthy long term. I mean, OnlyFans could be, but if you're it could also not be in some ways. You could imagine. So anyway, shout out KingCobra. I just like anyone that's balding, but they're keeping the hair. I'm also in that club. I know where this hat to look cool, but it's going up there. It's very sad. But I like showing it off. That's as I can slowly come to terms with it. Eventually, I'll shave it bald and do the Kratos look. But every white guy's got the bald head and the beard, and I feel like I got to get muscles before I can commit to that, or else I'm going to look weird. So it's going to be a journey, and I'm doing nothing to get towards the muscles. So we'll see what happens. But that's the thoughts around here. The wife doesn't hate, but I can tell she's like, God, their hair's looking fucking horrible. But I like the little curlies though. Cameras really fuck you up, with your left and right, it seems. All right, let's see what else we got here. Oh, one thing I was going to show a little video over here of it, probably when I'm talking about it. So if you're watching the video, but there's I keep seeing all these videos of semi truck wrecks, and the ones they seem to be targeted at a certain demographic, like Muslim type men truckers. And there's a famous one that happened in Florida, and we'll play a video here. Where this guy's making an illegal U-turn on a turnpike, and this car just smokes the side of the trailer and kills 3 people, I think, on impact. And the like driver has no care in the world. Like he could not care less. And there's just something about seeing the video of it. You're like, this motherfucker. And then I saw one like the next day after I saw that one of a similar scenario. Looked like a Muslim guy driving a semi. He's not paying attention at all. There's like a stop on a highway and he just fucking kills a couple people running in the back of some cars. And then you go down this rabbit hole and people are like, yeah, the Department of Transportation just approving shit in certain states. Like they're not even checking at all if these people even understand road signs or languages. And that's concerning. We were going to be all worried about the AI trucks, but I think they're doing this to make the AI trucks look better. That's, I guess, my conspiracy theory here. But, when I was a kid, I felt like truckers were such like an American job. So to see all these kind of foreign people that can't speak English doing it, you're like, oh, I didn't even realize that was a culture. Like there was a truck stop in the town I grew up in. It was like, one of the 3 places to eat. So you would eat there from time to time, see the trucker lifestyle. Also, CB radio is a real big deal where I'm from. My dad had one in his truck when I was young, and that was pretty cool. Get to talk to the truckers. Shout out the truckers. Let's see what else I have. I got just basically a bunch of random shit. That's what this episode. This is I need to clear up some goddamn random notes I keep writing down that mean nothing. But I will share my knowledge and my thoughts here. I saw a thing about this new tattoo fads, new tattoo trends. And I just want to share it here so that whenever this blows up within a few years or whenever, people are like, oh, yes, I do remember hearing of this. But it's called Cybersigilism. And it basically looks like the way like metal music covers look, like the spider webby text, it's in that general area. It's not exactly that, but I'll put up some pictures here if I can find them of this this new thing, Cybersigilism. But I see it and I'm like, oh man, I would not really want these. If it was me. Now I only have one tattoo and it got misspelled and then covered up immediately and doesn't look good at all and is like a big shame on my leg. But word is the technology's come pretty far to get these things removed. So I could probably do that, but I don't even care. I forget I even have it up most of the time. So it's not a huge deal. But it did destroy my dreams of I was going to get my whole leg sleeve. Like that was the thing I really wanted in my life. I thought I was going to get a leg sleeve. And then if I ever got that filled up, then I would commit to the arm sleeve and it would all be just on the left side. That was like what I was going to do. And then that first one just went so poorly that I was like, you know what? Maybe I won't be a tattoo guy. I don't need to do that, And so in another universe, I went to a different tattoo artist. I just got the Atlanta A or whatever, whatever the fuck I was going to get. I can't remember now. There was some thoughts of a cross at one time. That's very funny now because I wouldn't have it'd been fun. I wouldn't have thrown a fit about it, but I'm not really committed like that or even like 1% committed to religion. So that would have been interesting. But yeah, I got my last name. My last name is spelled weird. The guy misspelled it. Everyone judges me and they're like, how did you not know? But it was my first tattoo. I didn't know where the fuck he was at exactly. It was all just fucking ripping my skin off places. I wasn't like aware through feeling of, oh yes, this is exactly the letter he's doing at this, And then when he showed me, I was very calm. I was like, hey, yeah, you misspelled it because I knew like I had to fix it somehow. So they covered with some dumb tribal and it does not look that good, but it does say Mo and it did kind of solidify everyone calling me Mo. But before that, everyone called me my last name and only like a few of my stoner friends called me Mo. And then eventually I was like, well, I guess this is it. I have Mo on my leg. So that's what we're doing. And overall, I think that's probably the benefits. I think also a lot about no one would call me Mo if I wasn't adopted when I was 6 by my dad and then took his last name, in which Mo is short for his last name. Like what would have happened if I didn't have this last name? I'd be a whole different person. And then would I be, or would just my name be different? But I feel like a name has to somewhat affect your personality. I mean, I guess that probably scientifically doesn't hold up. You've met many of people out there with the same name and they don't act the same at all. But I don't know. It just feels like if you had a different name, you would have been treated different in some way. I don't know why that is, but that is my gut feeling. But yeah, it probably wouldn't have mattered. Probably wouldn't have mattered. I wouldn't have had, if my dad didn't adopt me, I wouldn't have had him there. So I would have been, I guess, a different person in that way. Maybe I'm doing some maths in my head or whatever. Um, all right, what else can I talk about that's random as fuck? Here's a fun, kind of current event political thing going on at the moment. So I know everyone loves this. Donald Trump or his administration, whoever, has proposed that America takes control, or maybe I think this is already happening. I think this actually happened since I wrote this down. They're going to take control of 10% of Intel, the chip and like technology manufacturer, um, in exchange for some sort of benefits. I'm not sure the full thing, but what really just struck out to me is like for years and years and years, it's all anti-China this and anti-China that, and why? Because Chinese governments and every part of any Chinese business, and you can't do business with the Chinese business because that's also the Chinese government. And like we're all just hating on that. We're like, how the communists, they control the means of the supply. And then what's Donald Trump's brilliant idea? He's like, let's do a little communism. How about we own part of the company? And then his followers are like, they don't even know what the fuck communism is. And so they don't even understand. They're just like, hey, that's a pretty good idea. And then what's even crazier is the sort of Democrat side that seems to be like kind of for communism. They're going to hate on it and make fun of him for it when I'm like, well, he's doing what the fuck you think he should do. So it's like we're in a tipsy-topsy world where everything's backwards. And maybe Donald Trump fucking brings communism. What are the odds of that? No one ever guessed that shit. But I mean, for what he ran on to what has happened, I would say not much has carried over. I know, again, the more left side, they are all the time like, what do you think would happen? This is what he ran on. I would argue he ran on some different stuff than some of the things he is enacting. So now, could that have been known? Yeah, probably. I still just can't let go of the belief that both sides, the Democrats and Republicans, are all on the same team, and they're kind of just sort of batting the ball back and forth to each other, so they can take turns fucking us in different positions, and then they pass it to the next one, and then they let them do it. I don't think there is some end goal to make America prosperous. I think if you truly believe that, you're an idiot. Like, how could you not look around and be like, oh, they do nothing ever? They sign big old checks to give to foreign nations, and then they don't really help people in America. And then honestly, they shouldn't even have to help America people. They should just fucking fix the economy or do whatever to make it where, American people can help themselves. But that's too difficult. And I don't have any answers. And I enjoy talking politics, but I don't really have any. I think we are too far gone. And if you just talk to people out in the world, they just already got their minds made up. And if they don't, and say you're like me and you're like, rather you could say in the middle or wishy-washy, or you're going to just see what you hear, then you kind of change your mind. That seems good. It seems good to like get new information. And then you're like, I got the new information. Now I'll think this thing because I have more, more info. But then people judge you for that. They're like, no, you used to think this and now you think that. But it's like, well, if you got more educated, it seems like that would make sense. But people want to lock you in a box, and I'm trying to put my dick in a box. Dick in a box. Man, Miss Lonely Island. I'm sure that's an example of whatever's wrong with me. Whatever that happened just there. Speaking of something I think that can kind of tie to that, I've been thinking about science a lot lately. And I wasn't real great at science. I was good at math, so through that I am inherently a little good at science because there's some crossover, but I wasn't like a superb science student or anything like that. But I believe in it somewhat, I believe in the idea that people can like study things over many years and come to some sort of conclusion of like, or like, hey, it's probably this. I think people always kind of misconceive like theories are like, they're like 99% sure, they can't exactly prove it, but nothing else makes sense. Their theory. I don't know the exact definition, but it's something like that. There's a reason they call it the theory of gravity. It's like, well, if you assume it, then all this other shit makes sense. I don't know if they can actually, maybe they did prove it. Maybe Einstein did that. I'm no science man. But I'm down with the science, I like the science and shit. And I guess I get annoyed because basically because of COVID, what happened was people now on like the right are like, oh yeah, believe the science. Well, fuck the science. Science is wrong. It's like now they're just anti-science. And then the left, again, probably because of COVID, it seems, they're all very pro-science. They're like, no, you always got to trust the science. And I mean, to me, science isn't one thing. It's not a belief. It's just a study, and a pursuit of the truth through experiments and all that. So I think it is weird to be like against science, but also, so I guess I'm against, the right wing people that are like all against science. But I think it's also extremely like naive, or they're just being stubborn about it, the left side, when they act oblivious to the fact that money could sway or corrupt science research that comes out. Like there can be stuff that's not true because the people that funded it didn't want certain info getting out, or they wanted a certain result, so they're going to skew or set up, experiments a certain way. And then there's like many experiments that have never been done again. Like it happened once, but they can't replicate the experiment. So through science, you shouldn't necessarily believe the things that can't be replicated. That's kind of part of it, is like you can repeat these things and, the science will be the science. So it's the sort of like blind faith to it all, because again, we're not smart, at least in America. I'm sure some countries are smarter about it maybe, but we're just not smart enough to think it through or research this stuff. So they just trick us through their propaganda because we don't take the time. We don't take the time for it. And so I think everyone that's anti-science, you sound dumb. And all y'all people that are pro-science all the time and don't understand that like super mega billionaires fund some of these things with nefarious goals in mind, you are also sounding dumb. But that's the goal is not the truth. The goal is to argue over which team's right, get y'all distracted, and then you go on your Facebooks and you post your memes, and then your people give you your likes, and then you feel validated, like, haha, I think this, and these 8 people also think like that, and we are better than the other side that think opposite of us. Like that seems to be what it's all for. So anyway, uplifting vibes around here, as you can tell. Probably long enough that I need to play a song. Yeah. So we're getting to it. I have enough at least for the next 2 episodes to keep going with Sir Nasty. And as the first song of the episode, it'd probably have more after that if I dig deep into the folders. But for sure, the next 2 episodes, we still got him around here. And so anyway, the Sir Nasty song I'm going to go with this time is still off of his album, I Still Got Problems. So go check that out on your favorite streaming site. And anyway, let's give it a listen. I Still Got Problems, Sir Nasty. Oh, name of the song is There He Go.
Jason Voorhees, Black Mask nigga. Better handcuff your bitch, nigga. The boy here.
She said you look different, you walk different, you talk different. I know different, I know you know that you so different.
Yeah.
I said I appreciate it. What you trying to do, little sexy lady? I'm an OG, I'm 80s baby.
Yeah, come on, boy.
When they say Jason, that's nasty bitch. In the daytime, she a nurse. At nighttime, she a nasty bitch.
Yeah.
She done bought a Jason mask. She rep the game. She told a friend the graveyard be doing they thing.
Yeah.
Her man rap, now her man mad.
Why?
She said, don't be hating on my man swag.
Yeah.
They broke up, now that man sad. I swear I ain't never fucked a bitch, but I bought the bitch a little handbag. Camp Crystal Lake, Jason gang, we all banned. Graveyard, we all man, but let me know where y'all stand.
Yeah.
These bitches know that we gangster. I tell the truth when I'm in the booth, bitch, I'm just keeping it gangster.
Yeah.
Bitch get a band, son.
Bitch get a band, son.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bitch get a band, son.
Bitch get a band, son.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Daddy hear that man come with the mask on, grabbing his nuts, and mama said he handsome. These bitches know that we gangster. I tell the truth when I'm in the booth, bitch, I'm just keeping it gangster.
Yeah.
I be in the streets like Robin Hood. T-Hook, my little John. I don't give a fuck like Lil John.
What the fuck? Yeah.
On the top, they don't want me there. Still pulling up on Sundays. I don't care if they don't want me there.
My God.
Yeah. I know this life ain't about me. Tell them rappers where I'm from, they don't wanna do nothing about me.
Yeah.
Camp Crystal Lake, that's band shit. Jason Gang, that's what we bang. And all I do is man shit.
Jason Gang.
Yeah. These rappers know I'm the Grand Reaper. We can pop it out when I'm rocking out. I'm standing up on your fucking speakers. Yeah.
Bitch, get a band, son. Bitch, get a band, son.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bitch, get a band, son. Bitch, get a band, son.
Yeah. Daddy hear that man come with the mask on, grabbing his nuts, and mama said he handsome.
Bitch, get a band, son. Bitch, get a band, son.
Yeah.
Bitch, get a band, son. Bitch, get a band, son.
Yeah. Daddy hear that man come with the mask on, grabbing his nuts, and mama said he handsome.
Sir Nasty with There He Go. Coming in hot. I love that beat. I forgot all about it, to be honest. I forget about a lot of beats I make until I hear them. I'm like, yes. That one strikes a chord in my memory. But yeah, that one's very cool. I could have seen that one going to multiple people. Where sometimes I hear a beat, I'm like, oh, that was for sure an ass one. I could have seen H2 or Brad on that one, even Soka. So yeah, it's interesting to see what he done with it. I think he wrote it very well, and Sir Nasty always brings it. I'm excited for his next album. I think it comes out in October, I believe, is what I saw a video of him talking about. So y'all go follow him over on TikTok. We're over at A2thaShow on TikTok, and then it's Sir Nasty over there. So they're starting to, maybe a Graveyard Entertainment might be there. It's hard to remember which one it is, but I see they're trying to post videos recently as well. It's hard to remember. It's hard to stay on top of it, especially when no one's watching them. And then if you post one of you playing a video game, it'll get like 7 times the views. And then people shitting on it. But it's still like somewhat validating to see the numbers. So, we're going to keep on. We're going to keep trying. We're going to keep on for now. We'll see. Someday it'll all end. But not anytime soon, So stick around for what we got going on A2thaShow. Like I said, send us emails. What have I not talked about that I had on my list? I do think one thing that's fucking crazy, kind of touch on a little conspiracy here. And if Bradster X ever calls in, I'll have to try to remember this one for him as well. So if you hear this, Brad, remember this. That there was an assassination attempt on George Washington in Butler, Pennsylvania, back in like the 1700s. And that's crazy. And then I start feeling like I'm fucking connecting dots, connections, type shit. And I'm sure I'm not the first person that thought of this, because I heard this about this George Washington thing this week on a podcast that they didn't be like, just like Trump was, but I think they were saying it just so like your mind could connect the dots. But anyway, George Washington wrote in his diary about the assassination attempt. He heard the bullet whiz by his ear. And then you're like, what the fuck? So I don't know if Donald Trump was really shot in his ear or not. I think there's definitely evidence for and against if that was, staged or not. I think you could have a fun little documentary made about it. And I'm sure one will be someday. But you could see if like it was staged, that they're like, ooh, let's do it in the city where George Washington had it, and then it whizzed by his ear, but it'll hit Donald Trump's ear. Like you could just, oh no, it's like a movie, So that's just interesting. And again, I just think if I would have had an assassination attempt against me, I would have fucking, and I won, I would like, yeah, we're gonna talk about that again. We're gonna get back to the bottom of that. Not this whole like, no, it's fine. It's cool, guys. We're gonna just help Israel kill the Gaza Strip. So just add that one to the Donald Trump assassination attempt conspiracy pile out there. I think that one was pretty cool. You know what? I like to talk about some video games at this time. So that's what we'll do. It's exactly what I do. All right. I did play a bunch of games this week. The first one I'll mention is the one that I might actually have some footage of here. It was a game called Risk of Rain 2. And I never played Risk of Rain 1, but I have heard of it, and I'd heard of Risk of Rain 2. It was included in the PlayStation Plus Extra catalog this month. People don't know, that's basically like Netflix, but for video games on PlayStation. Xbox has a better system, so a lot of people are like, but Xbox is better. And it's like, it is, but I don't have an Xbox, so I don't have it. But yeah, so I gave it a shot because I've been recommended before. I do like roguelike games. And so it's a roguelike third-person shooter. You basically just start off in a random procedurally generated level, and you're shooting enemies that are running at you, and then you're trying to find, I don't remember what it was called, some little statue or whatever that summoned the boss for that level, and then you try to kill the boss, and then you go on to the next level if you do, and it just rinse and repeat and try to get as far as you can. And, it's like a replayable sort of arcade style game in that way. It's not like a story driven game. And I do really like some roguelikes from time to time, but what happened is I rather really love one, or I'm just like, yeah, this isn't really for me. And if I had to lean one or the other on those, I would say this one's not really for me. I do still have it installed. We'll see. I might give it another go. I've considered, I do have maybe 45 minutes of footage of, my first 3 runs or whatever. I've thought about doing a little A2thaShow plays video to it, but then I'm like, I don't know if I like the game enough to talk about, so that's why this will probably be all you really see of it, is this right here. So it's not like the worst game in the world or anything. I could see it being fun, especially if you didn't have a lot of options. You could sink a lot of hours into it, or just trying to get better or whatever, but I just don't think it's the game for me at the moment. Now at least one other game I know for sure I tried also, but did not stick with at all. I played it for literally 45 seconds. So that's why there will be no footage of it. But that is Mortal Kombat 1. It was also, again, given on the PlayStation Plus Extra catalog. And I was kind of excited about this. I remember when it was announced, it was like, it's Mortal Kombat, but it actually has a story tied to it now. And they've kind of updated some stuff. And you kind of fight through the story. And then, like I said, I played it for about 45 seconds. It just didn't feel good. It looked bad, I thought. I just thought like it looked like weird and cartoony and shit. And so I was like, I just don't even want to try to get into this. So I just said, never mind, delete it. The game is 130 gigabytes, which is insane. That's of how big that is. And so yeah, anyway, had to get rid of that one. Was not worth it. I feel like there was another game I tried as well, but I cannot think off the top of my head. Let me see. I might be able to research some stuff. I'm still trying to play some NCAA football because I bought it and I want to like it. And I mentioned last week it's just hard, which I know is like a bullshit like excuse or whatever. Like, yeah, games are hard, but it's fine. It's fine. I've been playing. Oh, I did try Spider-Man, which was a PS4 game that they have a PS5 remaster of, and I played it for maybe about 2 minutes, and then I was like, I platinumed it on PS4, so I know I can beat it or whatever. It's not a hard game. But I was like, do I really want to commit the next 20 hours of video game time to this game? I started having some second thoughts. Now I will get it back around to it because I haven't want to do the remastered one. It looked amazing. I was playing on my PS5 Pro that I have in the other room, and I was like, yeah, it looks fucking awesome. But I don't know. I'm just not in the mood to game, I guess, at the moment. It has to be the right game. I did not stick with the Bloom and Rage game I talked about last week or the week before, whenever that was. I made it past the halfway mark, which was like the big story like reveal. There's like a spoiler or whatever there. And I was like, okay, I don't know. I just didn't really like it. So I've given up on a lot of games recently. They just haven't been sticking with me. I think I'm really just getting excited because at the end of this month, Final Fantasy Tactics Remaster comes out, and I mean, this podcast may not get made if I'm like into it that much. I might be like, we could skip a week, it's why can't I enjoy my life and do something fun, and I'm hoping, and I know I'm putting too much in it or on it, too much pressure on this game. It doesn't feel the pressure, obviously, but too much pressure for me about it because I feel like I'm not going to be good at it. Even though I beat the game like, a dozen times in my life or whatever. And I really like it. It's a lot of fun. I'm like, yeah, but other people are going to be better than me because, I was good at it back before the internet existed. And, I don't know. I'm like, I could see it not being everything I want, but I'm just trying to tell myself it is going to be everything I want. And I just want to, enjoy that for a couple of days and probably do nothing else but that. Which probably leads into why I've recorded 3 podcasts this week. Because I'm like, well, we'll just go ahead. I ain't doing nothing else. These games suck. Let's try to get some podcasting in. So, there are benefits. There's benefits to not being in a game mood. Just a lot of pressure to make music as well. I haven't done that near enough. So I'm like, well, I've wrote a couple things, but need to get back to it. So anyway, that was some of my video game news. Something kind of like not on a specific video game, but there's like a type of video game these days I wish I even knew what the genre was, but it's like these friend games. So like it's like 4-player games where like you and 3 other of your friends online all are talking, and they have like proximity voice chat, and you're all like doing stuff in the game, but it's all because you're like talking and having fun. The graphics aren't normally great. Even the gameplay doesn't look like anything special, but it'll be like, one guy can get sucked away by a monster and the others have to investigate. And, it's all these online friend-based games, and I just see them covered all the time and how like they're the new thing. And it sucks for me because I don't have video game friends or friends, many in life, but definitely not on video games. So it's like when like the new hit games, I don't know if they're hits, but they're like, the cult hits that are coming out or whatever, or all these games where it's like, yeah, you and 3 friends go do this thing. And I'm like, well, I can't play that shit. So I do feel like I'm missing a big part of some stuff right now. Like there was a game called Schedule One that I think you could play single player, but everyone was playing it online with friends. Like, you got to play it with friends. And then you're like, well, then I don't know. I guess I'm just missing out on some big games, and that bums me out as a big video game fan. And then also, I think I just since we're talking about video games, I've been thinking a lot about GTA 6. I know it's like the most hyped game of all time, so I just think it's in an interesting position. It could flop, right? Like all of the hype in the world it has. I mean, everyone is expecting to be the greatest game of all time, but again, it could be the greatest game of all time. Like, they've put more money into this than anything. Every story you hear is like word is they spent $300 million on just the water physics of the game because they wanted to add surfing and they wanted it to be like realistic oceans or whatever. And you hear this shit and you're like, this may be the greatest game ever, in the sense of like no one ever attempts to put this much money and time into a game ever again. And this might just be the top. And then after this, it'll be, still good games like we have now, but no other company can afford the time and the money to put into a singular game like Rockstar has to Grand Theft Auto 6. So it's just an interesting time to be like, oh, it could be a huge deal. But because all these expectations, that increases the chance it could be a dud or a flop or let people down because their expectations get out of control. I think the graphics are going to be great. I'm assuming... a lot of people are like, the dynamic quests and all that stuff are going to be a new big improvement, but they've been doing that in Red Dead, and I think it's kind of like still video gaming. Like, you walk by a certain place, it triggers the blue dot, and so maybe they're going to like so much better because it has been forever since their last Grand Theft Auto. But so like I think it'll still be pretty gamey and shit. But you just hear a lot of the fucking crazy rumors about how good it's going to be. So yeah, I'm curious. I'm excited to see what happens there. And then my last video game thing is Roblox. There's all this Roblox drama going on where someone named, I think it was Schlepp or something like that, he was doing pedophile catching or predator catching on Roblox. And so he made some video about it, kind of showed that, that Roblox is filled with pedophiles, which I've heard that years ago. I remember I told my boss at work, like, hey, if your kid plays Roblox, they probably shouldn't. I've been hearing all kinds of crazy shit. And so now that this stuff's come out, people are like, hey, I think you're right about Roblox. I've never played it. I know it is a video game, but it's like a game with a bunch of games inside of it. So it's more of like a platform, and then people have their own weird games. And some of those weird games are like weird and sexual, and kids get on there and play it, and they can dress their little man up in, lingerie or whatever, but they look like weird Lego people kind of. So it's not like realistic, but there's been some weird shit that I've seen since trying to figure out the fuck Roblox is. At my job, I uninstall Roblox a lot off computers. Like, kids can get the software on like a flash drive and just put it in a computer and install it and get around fucking shit with, I don't know, these kids, they'll do anything for their goddamn Roblox. And then they sell Robux or something like that. And that's how they make all their money. It's kind of like V-Bucks at Fortnite. And it's just crazy. These parents just buy their kids all this shit, because I just live in the world where my mom would have just been like, no, you don't. Like, maybe for my birthday I would have gotten some or whatever, but it wouldn't have been like, yeah, we're just gonna get you stuff. I was actually talking to someone today. I wasn't trying to call them out because I'm not a parent. I don't know how hard it is and all that, but they're talking about one of their kids basically going to eat chicken, like chicken nuggets or whatever. Not exactly that, but basically that. And how they were like, they said they would never be that type of parent that would have given in to their kids. But once you have a kid and they're hungry and that's all they'll eat, then you will do it because you don't want your kid to starve or whatever. But I just can't even imagine a world which I could have told my mom, I will only eat chicken nugget. You know, like it just wouldn't have happened. Like there was food I didn't like and I didn't eat it, but you know, you ate what you did like off your plate and you made it be enough or what. I don't know. And I was a fat kid eventually. So, you know, I wasn't starving or anything and I was picky on certain foods. But I just can't. I guess what I'm getting is I think this new age sort of kids that only eat chicken strips or chicken nuggets or whatever, it's because they're allowed to. They're in a position that they know that those things are purchasable at a near restaurant and the parents will give in. Where I was under no thought that my mom would be like, sure, I'll go get you that. Because I would ask for chicken strips at the gas station and she'd be like, no, what the fuck are you talking? Like, she just wasn't doing that shit, you know? So maybe these parents, they're just soft or something. I don't know. But I hear stories of kids that only eat chicken nuggets or chicken strips or dino nuggets or whatever all the time. So I know it's not like, you know, specific to the person I was talking to today. It is like a whole thing, you know. I know 2 adults since I was an adult that also were like that. But one of them got out of it once he became an adult. The other one I know of still the chicken strips only guy, which is interesting. But yeah, I think that just happens because your parents aren't strong enough to be like, no, but they don't see it that way. You know, they view it again as feeding their babies. And that could be the thought that happens. Like I said, I'm no parent. I don't know. All right, let's see where we at. You know what? I say I ran it pretty good there. Let's play a little song. We'll get back. I'll talk a little sports a little more, and then we'll get out of here. Make it maybe a short one. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But the next song we're gonna go with here is from the homie. It's your boy H2 and his homie Mr. Ghost 731. This is off the Flatliner music album called Bones. We played a song off this album on the Future Music episode in a couple of days as well. So if you like this, you might look out for that one there. And yeah, let's give this a listen. What's it called? Or I don't know if I can say it's called So Committed. Let's check it out.
Tell them let's get it if they want it. We want it, so you can get it. They tell us to do it, but we already did it. Strict shit, we so committed. Pop, so you fit it. Pop, finish these bitches, it'll only take a minute. Tell them let's get it if they want it. We want it, so you can get it. They tell us to do it, but we already did it. Strict shit, we so committed. Pop, so you fit it. Pop, finish these bitches, it'll only take a minute.
You know who it is, so nigga, you better respect me. I'm from the concrete jungle, my niggas get at me. We're the dope dealers, killers, real niggas and fiends. I do it for the hood because I come from out the streets. It's just a young nigga wild and surviving the game. Back when Pope Clark Nets was nothing but change. It's been a long time coming and dealing with lanes. I'm so mild and more bunker, it's simple and plain. I heard it through the grapevine, and niggas say he gon' take mine. Got that thing cocked and it's tucked off in my waistline. Ain't hide behind no baseline, posted up by a street sign. Get it how you live or get killed trying to take mine. You started and we finished it, niggas know what the business is. I'm clowning on you suckers cause we never leave no witnesses. You count is where the villains is, you never guess how real it is until you find your face in the dirt. That's what the business is.
Tell them let's get it if they want it. We want it, so you can get it. They tell us to do it, but we already did it. Strict shit, we so committed. Pop, so you fit it. Pop, finish these bitches, it'll only take a minute. Tell them let's get it if they want it. We want it, so you can get it. They tell us to do it, but we already did it. Strict shit, we so committed. Pop, so you fit it. Pop, finish these bitches, it'll only take a minute. See the differences between that shit and this shit. I'm at the top while you at the top of my hit list. My flow's the finest in the room, you cannot not get with. Keep on pushing like I cannot comprehend resistance. How could you resist this? I go off in an instance. The hoes is I choosing HQ cause I'm so sick. So for those who say they losing and talking so slick, send it via word of mouth to the tip of this Disney. You're sitting with the sideliners thinking they gon' be quiet. I'm a dick, I cock it and shoot it. A wretch you never hide it. Stay fresh until I expire. We spreading out like a virus. Get infected through your ear like a circus. You're all invited to watch me just swallow fire and spit it back more vicious. And I'm attacking anybody with wag lyrics. Stacking riches, packing venues and for fucking bad bitches. Only married to the game cause the game is so committed. Tell them let's get it if they want it. We want it, so you can get it. They tell us to do it, but we already did it. Straight shit, we so committed. Pop, learn your fit it. Pop, finish these bitches, it'll only take a minute. Tell them let's get it if they want it. We want it, so you can get it. They tell us to do it, but we already did it. Straight shit, we so committed. Pop, learn your fit it. Pop, finish these bitches, it'll only take a minute.
It's your boy H2 with Mr. Go 731 with So Committed. They were committed to that song. Put it down. The beat sounded old, in some way. No offense to producer, whoever, but it did sound like it was like out of 2008 or something, and the whole song, kind of had that vibe. And I don't think that should be hate in any way. I mean, some people vibe that shit. I remember when Pow Wow was on this episode and H2 song came on and he was like, this is my shit. So I think some people are missing that sort of era, because that could be, I could hear that being like for these gym people, this could be like a gym song or whatever. So, get on those playlists, they'll pump some iron shit. I could see people getting down to it. Maybe some Eminem fan tops. Speaking of which, I was thinking that because I just saw where the Stans documentary came to Paramount Plus, so I have that. I need to watch it, as I'm a little hot and cold on Eminem, but I do love a documentary. So watch that. I bet I'll enjoy it a lot. So I don't even know what it's about. I don't know if it's like in particular about his fans or if it's about him. But I'll try to give it a watch before next week. We'll see. I might not. We'll see if I get to it. I have this whole plan to go over the worst rappers that I like rappers that I do like, but people to talk about how shitty they are or whatever. And so I don't know if I'm gonna do that. I might at the end. We'll see. I still have it here. We'll see what else I get to. But I did want to at least talk about sports. I only have basically two little things here. The first one, which is a big news story out in the world, is this Raja Jackson incident. So if you don't know, if you're on the internet, you definitely have seen this or whatever. But Rampage Jackson, who's a lot of people's favorite UFC fighter, or one of. He was definitely one of my favorites. And he's great. He streams these days on Kick or Rumble or whatever the fuck it is. I think it's Kick, though. And his son named Raja has also been streaming the IRL shit. And so he's become somewhat known recently, but you're basically an unknown guy. Not many people know who Raja Jackson is. And there was some professional wrestling event, not like WWE, but like kind of smaller organization owned by Rikishi, from what I've read. And basically they got Raja Jackson in there to do something with one of the wrestlers, and one of the wrestlers hit him in the side of the head with like a beer can or soda can or something like that earlier in the day. Thought he had a prop can, didn't, something like that. And then Raja Jackson gets all mad, but the guy apologizes. Raja acts like he's cool, but then like on his little streaming phone, he's like, I ain't cool, I'm gonna hurt him, or I'm gonna punch him or whatever he said, like I ain't faking or whatever. And I think it's all really interesting because he goes in the ring, he waits on the guy he's going to do the move to or whatever. Like he doesn't go in like with malicious sort of like, I'm going to go in and attack. He goes in like, I'm waiting for him to turn around so I can execute this move that we've talked about, where I'm going to body slam him in the middle of the ring. Now he grabs him too low, slams him too hard. The guy's head bounces off the mat, gets knocked out. And then Raja Jackson just starts swinging on him. But I do think if Raja Jackson thinks that the guy's just going to land, get body slammed, and then he'll swing punches, that guy will cover himself. That might be how it goes. And then you can think all this, but then Roger Jackson, again, because he's a streamer, he's on his phone immediately after, and he's like, they ain't gonna fuck with me and call me a bitch, so like he's acting like he did all this to prove he wasn't a bitch. So not a sort of accident or what, like all the way he acted changed it. And I also think if he was just some random person and not Rampage Jackson, famous UFC guy, he would have already been arrested, maybe. Like I think it would be handled differently. Now, if I have to defend him or give some blame to these wrestlers, I think an amateur wrestler, I know they're professional wrestlers, but they're not like the big time ones, whatever you call that level. I don't think they should be working with someone who has no training, that doesn't know what he's doing, just because you're trying to use his viewership. Like you're trying to use his fan base and his father's fan base who's watching him. And so you're trying to take advantage of him by having him be involved, and you didn't train him or do whatever. So like some point it's kind of on you, a little bit for even putting yourself in that position. Yeah, but anyway, a lot of people want him just to go to jail. Like that's just the short. They're like, well, he deserves to go to jail, which I think because it was like a weird sanctioned entertainment event. I don't know if it is attempted murder. I don't know. Like it just seems interesting. And if this is all like a play, like that guy just is the best actor of all time getting punched and doing all this, and they're trying to bring like eyeballs to the thing, like that would be awesome. That'd be crazy. I don't think that is it at all, but there's a part of you, because it's professional wrestling, like, or they are tricking everyone, like this is all, I wish a work. It's all a work. It would be a hell of a work. I will say that. But you just made the ultimate hill, if so, with Raja Jackson. And the other small sports thing is Sheduer Sanders. I think he did make the Cleveland Browns team. He's not a starter or anything, but he is on the team. I think I said this when he got drafted. Now, I don't know if I had a podcast here. I'm not even talking to myself here with Skinny. But I just think it's the exact same as a Tim Tebow situation. So people don't remember, Tim Tebow was in the NFL. He was the greatest. Tim Tebow was arguably the greatest college quarterback of all time. I didn't like him in college because I didn't like this play style or whatever. Like, I like a more exciting gunslinger type myself. But Tim Tebow is one of the greatest of all time. He goes to the NFL. No one wants to take him or play him or whatever. I think he goes to the Broncos, if I remember correctly. And then he like wins all these games, but he's horrible. Like his form is horrible. His stats are horrible. But he kept winning. And people are like, yeah, but he's winning. And then eventually they got rid of him. And then he went to whatever other team. And then like fans in the crowd would cheer. They want Tebow, even though he's a backup somewhere, So then teams are like, well, then we're not going to fucking sign him. He's not worth the trouble. And I just feel like Sheduer Sanders is basically in that same mode. I know they're different players or whatever. Tim Tebow had a way better resume or whatever, but it's like if he doesn't start or you don't give him all the chances, and there's going to be all these people online and other places being like, oh, the racist NFL. Like, so in some way, I can see where an organization's like, he is not worth the drama or all the extra shit that comes with having him because he just already has such a fan base and people like his dad, it's another nepotism sort of athlete thing. So I don't know. That's my thought on Sheduer Sanders on the Browns. We will see how that goes. I also watched a fantasy football draft this week, like on a podcast I listened to. They did a draft and I watched it. And I haven't done a fantasy football draft in like 5 years. If someone asked me to do one, I would probably join their league. But it was nostalgic. It was like, oh yeah, I do remember doing fantasy. I don't know half the players anymore. I'm kind of out or whatever. But that does have me thinking a little bit about football. May give it a shot. I have a couple apps that'll have some football games on it. But we'll see. We'll see if I stick with it. All right, I'm gonna save that worst rappers thing till another time. Let's see what else. I should have a bunch of random shit on my list here that I need to get out of here. I know we probably talked too many politics, but there was a couple political things that happened. In general, people's attitudes on the Ukraine changed. Like there was this big meeting. I don't think I ever talked about on here, but I meant to. Where like Zelensky, who's a Ukrainian president guy, he met with Donald Trump wearing a suit and saying thank you a lot and shit like that. Because last time he met with him, he didn't have a suit. And he didn't say thank you, and everyone gave him shit. And also, he's coked out all the fucking time. I mean, let's just be real honest. People that have done coke or been around people that have done coke. Zelensky is a cokehead. And you can see many videos that show that that's probably true. And I think they get the pure shit over there. You know, it's not tainted with the fentanyl from the Mexican cartels. So, I mean, more power to him. But, you know, the whole attitude's on that change. And then Trump's like, he meets with Zelensky, then he meets with Putin in Alaska. And, you know, depending on which side, whether he was a master at that or he was fucking played at that. And, you know, just kind of both sides are saying the different things now. And what's crazy is like, he's saying he's going to try to end the war. And then Hillary Clinton came out and said, if Donald Trump ends the war, she'll nominate him for a Nobel Peace Prize. Now, that could be her just being like funny or like, you know, there's some joke somewhere in there, or if she's being sincere. But everyone was taking her as being sincere. And you're like, how is it that the person that's going to nominate him for stopping a war that they wanted to go on the last, I don't know. It's just none of it makes fucking sense. And so I don't know. I don't like it. Another little political thing, not exactly, but kind of, there was a cybersecurity, some guy who used to be the cybersecurity for Netanyahu in Israel. He was caught in like a pedophile sting ring thing or whatever. I want to say it was Nevada, but I could be wrong. And basically the judge just let him run away, like didn't hold him in jail or whatever. And they got on a plane, flew to Israel, and now they're going to be safe forever. And then you start going down this little rabbit hole there that you're like, well, what do you mean they'll be safe forever? And it turns out Israel will take like any Jewish pedophile if they can like escape authorities and make it there. They will not extradite them back to America or whatever their country they're from. So there's some organization that tracks how many people have been like, you know, wanted for some pedophile molesting, you know, whatever type thing. And then they just run to Israel and get protected. And so that's interesting. You know, like, I don't know how often it happens that there's people out there claiming they have the numbers or whatever. And I remember the number they said, it was like, well, that's not like that many, but honestly, more than like 50 is probably something you should get kind of concerned with. But, you know, there's like millions of people. I guess what I was saying, like, well, percentage wise, it's not like they're all that, but yeah, it's a weird thing that we give them so much money, but they won't extradite people back to us. It seems like they just should because we're the homies for real, and we print fucking blank checks to Israel every year, it seems. So, I don't know. I'm not smart enough for that. All right, something random. My shoe size has kind of shrank over the years. Now, maybe it was always as small as it was. But this is how it happened. I keep losing my wedding rings. I've lost a couple expensive ones. And then I bought some cheap shit off of TikTok for like $3. I got 2 rings. Lost one, but still have one. So I'm just going to keep buying cheap rings. I think it's the way to go. I don't know how I lose them. I take them off and then fucking the simulation gets them, man. But yeah, basically when I was looking or trying to size up rings, so when I bought another expensive one, I got too big and I had to keep getting fucking smaller and smaller. And I used to think I wore size 12 shoes. Used to think I wore a size 12 ring. And then for most part, I don't know how true this is, but people say it's like kind of normal. Like your ring finger size is typically close to your shoe size. Now, again, don't hold me to that, but that worked definitely for me. So I started getting, you know, shoes that weren't as fancy. You know, I used to get like a lot of Air Forces and fun shoes that looked cool, but they hurt my feet. So I started getting, you know, wide ass shoes. So I'll go to like Nike's website. I'm like, show me all the fucking extra wides and normal wides you got. And I'll kind of look through those. And some, if they're on clearance, you know, they're down $30, $40. I'm like, well, yeah, I'm totally buying those. So what's happened is there's been times I'm like, oh, they don't have a size 12 anymore. You know, or they're out of size 12. Well, what's the difference between a size 12 and a size 11 and a half? And I feel like I needed a 12 back in the day when I was getting narrow shoes that weren't wide, because I do have wide feet. I'm like, well, fuck it. They don't make cool shoes that are wide or whatever. So I would just ignore it. But I think I was like needing that extra room for like shoving the whole foot in there or whatever. Whereas I went down to an 11 and a half, and I would now say I wear an 11 and a half. You know, that would probably be more accurate. And, you know, they're a little snugger, but it's a 1/3 of an inch difference for people don't know between every, shoe size to half shoe size. It is a 1/3 of an inch. So from an 11 to a 12 is just 2/3 of an inch of extra space, which doesn't seem like much. So when I learned that, I was like, I might be able to go down to an 11. So the shoes I've been wearing currently are an 11, and it kind of works. You know, it's a little snug. on my pinky toes, I would say. And then also like the tongue isn't wide enough. I'm like busting out of the shoe or whatever, but I don't know if that would have mattered for what size it is, as far as 11 or 11 and a half. So I've settled back on 11 and a half, but I forever said I wore size 12s. So now I don't feel as manly now that my foot is shrunken foot. So tell me what I can do. I take some tungsten Ali or get on the testosterone replacement therapy. I would love to. I don't go to the doctor. And so therefore I will get nothing fixed because I don't put in the work. My mom recently had some back pains that sounded a lot like the stuff I have. Talking about how she need to go get steroid shots and all this shit. And I was like, you just need to man up and fucking live life with pain. That's how I do it. But maybe that's not how I should do it. But it is how I do currently do it. All right, you know what? Good enough for me. I'm sure we have some stuff I could end us out on. It's hard to know. I did notice the kids lately, for a few years there, the teenagers were just wearing athletic shorts and t-shirts. And I was like, God damn, it's just crazy how they're stuck in this little like pajama ass going to the gym look. It's just weird for teenagers. But they've kind of evolved this year, I've noticed, where it is definitely getting into the early 90s fashion. So some baggy jeans are coming back, which I'm excited about. And it's a few other things. I'm more of a late 90s kid, born in 88, but I do still appreciate the early 90s look that some of the kids are going for. And then the kids that are still stuck in like athletic shorts and hoodies vibe, they look kind of like, dude, what are you doing? That shit's so 2000 and late, So I'm excited for the Jinko revolution. I don't know if I ever get that crazy, but yeah, they're trying to look cool, like cool in the way I used to think look cool. So I guess I need to go buy clothes besides just getting online and ordering shit off apps and then just praying that they fit. Turns out that, and I really want to talk about Cracker Barrel, but we'll say that for next week. I think next week, Southern Comfort's calling in, and again, so I'm sure, I don't know where Cracker Barrel started, but there's a part of me that's like, it could be Georgia, and that's where he's from, or where he's calling from. So my new guess may be Tennessee, but who knows again where it is, and I'm not looking it up, but I'll talk about all that next week, and anything. I have to go through all these notes. I didn't know I'd do a good job of keeping track of what I was going to talk about when. So it's just jumbled up mess, but I think some people like these. Some people don't, but some people do. So anyway, thanks for checking me out, listening to me on whatever day you've decided to do this. If you need more stuff and you missed the music episode, or there's a music episode 1 that came out, a few weeks ago, and then we have another new music episode coming out in 2 days. It might already be out depending when you're listening to this, and I think those are a lot of fun. Yeah, anyway, share it with someone you think will like it, all that stuff. I guess I need to fucking play one of my songs. I forget that's how I end this shit. I'm always like trying to get out of here. Yeah, that's right. We're ending though on a song by myself, A2thaMo, and the homie Bradster X. We put out an album called Bros, stands for Brain Rot Over Sanity, and just got to share these, keep it alive. Brad's back in the lab. He's trying to write some stuff. It's exciting whenever the homies are trying to get back with the music. Not that he was fully out, but I knew he took a little break, and he's got fucking teeth missing, all kinds of crazy shit going on. But anyway, the song I'm going with is called Just Rappin', and I thought this one was very fun when we made it. We needed a few more fun songs on the album, so this is what we did to try to line it up. So that's what we'll end with here. Just Rappin'. Let's give it a listen. And peace.
Please stop talking. Can I talk now? Okay. Can I please talk now?
What? Hey guys, it's me again, recording another sex toy review for you. I've got a super interesting toy for you today. It's from
A2thaMo makes beats, motherfucker.
He's going for things that nobody's ever even heard of.
You can't even do cocaine in this country anymore. I can't commit suicide until my parents die. Try not to cry, just got smoke in my eye. They 80s baby, I'm like, give me 5. Nowadays these kids don't wanna live, they just tryna go live. But times change, I guess no surprise. I'm stuck being myself, I got no disguise. I'm like a dentist with these bitches, tell them open wide. If you hear it saying A to Mo makes beats, then you know it's mine. Yeah, take that, know my fireworks. Ask these black cats, he making decisions that hurt me, I'm a jackass. Think they hitting the joint, but only if I pass that. They think they get the point, bitch, they can't even grab that. I don't really know if I even know either. Smoking on big trees like I'm not talking cedar. Sometimes spirits speak, using me through the ether. Just skimming the surface, but I know that it could get deeper. I don't know, I think we just rapping. 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 I don't know.
You hear Brad rapping? No, I'm high on the track. I write with the mask on, this is how I relax. Your mom gave me ass, said I'm fly in the sack. Said your music straight trash, put the fries in the bag. You're bad at this rap shit, all your tracks slap dicks. Iron out bars like they were crafted by blacksmiths. Yours belong in a trash bin, worth less than the trade that I ash in. Asking about our past hits, you know we got a vast list. Ain't gonna rap about how we wanna stack chips, but it doesn't take a math whiz to see the predictable last twist. What? That we would if we had chips. Tired of being broke even though we got more talent than half of these motherfuckers out right now, it's staggering. All I hear is babbling like babies getting mad again. Time to abort them, the orphans meet them or be tragic again.
I don't know, I think we just rapping. 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 I don't know, I don't know, I think we just rapping.
A to the Mo.
I don't know, I think we just rapping.
Bradster Rex.
Ha. I don't know, I think we just rapping. I don't know, I think we just rapping. I don't know,
Hearing all this talk about me being a simp. Yeah, I'm a simp. I'm a simply slamming your girl with this big old horse meat ding dong. And that's on God, baby girl.